An ugly weather day in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Heavy rains predicted on and off throughout the afternoon. In fact, 2 to 3 inches expected in the tri-state area in a game where the football eyes of New York are upon Giant Stadium. This afternoon, the New York Jets host the New York Giants. Good afternoon, everyone. Along with Bill Maas, I'm Mike Breen. It has been a rough week for the Giants and the Jets because of all the ridicule they've had to take. They've called it the Stupor Bowl. Today is referred to as Black Sunday, the battle for New York gagging rights. It's been a source of ridicule for the media and the fans. Players are serious, and they're confident they can turn it around, especially the Jets.
Well, Mike, the Jets have reason to be confident. I mean, you look at this team on film, and they got their players jump out at you. They spend a lot of money in the offseason on free agency, and these guys are accomplished veterans. They can get things done. Their problem has been the offensive line. They just haven't gelled yet because they haven't played together long enough. This is their only second week together since training camp.
They have high hopes for the offense today, but how does the weather come into play now?
Well, you have to run the ball. Both these teams watch for them to pound the ball. Now, the Jets have a banged-up defensive front, and that's going to be key because to stop Rodney Hampton, you should see him pound the ball. This guy's been doing it for years, whether it's rain or sun or whatever it's going to be. This guy can pound it. They're going to have their hands full stopping him.
Do not underestimate the fact that these two teams are desperate for a win. And these New York fans braving the conditions in hope of witnessing the first New York football win of the season. We'll have the opening kickoff when we return after these messages of the United States Air Force. And Dan is ready to kick off what he hopes will be his first win of the season. And quarterback Dave Brown hoping to turn around his team's fortunes this afternoon. Nick Lowry will kick it off as the Giants won the toss and will receive. Tyrone Wheatley at his own 5. Wheatley has some room around side. And Wheatley knocked out of bounds at about the 46. Wheatley has been excellent on kickoff returns as Dave Brown will take the field. 26-year-old had a rough week last Sunday, throwing a career-high 4 interceptions against the Redskins. He's confident this team can get it going. The offensive line, young, big, strong, but they have not played well this season. Rodney Hampton, expect a big game from him. Callaway Lewis, the wideouts, and Howard Cross, the veteran tight end. So excellent field position at their own 49, just shy of midfield. Giants ready to go. Charles Way in motion. Rodney Hampton the call. Hampton maybe 4 yards. And now for the Jets defense, a banged up defensive front line. Washington, Brock, Chalensky all nursing some pretty serious injuries. Spindler has been a pleasant surprise. The linebackers with Lewis and Jones. Bobby Houston returns after last week being out. In the secondary, 3 of these 4 from Texas A&M, led by Aaron Glenn, one of the NFL's best. Hampton picks up 3 yards on that first, so 2nd and 7. Giants already in Jet territory. Cross in motion this time. The pitch to Hampton. Hampton has room, has the first down, and run out of bounds at about the 36. 13-yard pickup. Victor Green helping to push him out of bounds.
Just like we addressed in the very beginning, Mike, it's going to be one on the ground in the ground game today. And especially look at up front. See the push the Giants offensive line get? I mean, they have a banged-up defensive line. I'm speaking of the Jets. I mean, and they're going to test them. And Rodney Hampton's going to get the ball. I bet he's going to get it about 30 times today.
Giants last week averaged over 5 yards per carry in the loss to the Redskins. First game that the running game really got in gear. Hampton again has a nice hole, but then is greeted. Mo Lewis among those in on the stop. And especially Hampton is going to be able to try and get some more reps because of what's happened on the defensive line.
You can take a look. I mean, Washington was out with a bad rib injury. They're surprised. They're lucky to get him back. Spindler's fingers are all taped up. And Brock hyperextended his elbow last week, and he has a special brace he's got taped on there. Now, you help that thing out. I mean, that's difficult to play defensive line when you can't use your arms to shed blockers.
Especially fitted. It didn't arrive until late in the week, so he missed a couple of days of practice. 2nd and 7. Aaron Pierce in as the H-back. Again, Hampton. He'll be the workhorse. Almost stripped, but Hampton holds on and gets down to about the 32-yard line. Marvin Jones on the tackle.
Well, you know, in the prior 3 weeks, they've alternated a lot. They brought in Wheatley and to spell Hampton. But the running game just hasn't been there for the Giants. And what they want to do today is just keep Hampton in there. Let him take on the majority of the runs so that the offensive line can get their timing down and get comfortable with one back. So they're trying to get some success, and they're here early on. I mean, if they keep this pace up, Hampton might be the real deal.
This third down conversion, 3rd and 5. Wheatley has become their third down back, and he's in the game right now. 3 wide receivers, 6 defensive backs. Brown with his first pass of the afternoon, and it's incomplete. Lonnie Young breaks it up, intended for Callaway, and 4th down coming up for the Giants. Giant offense staying on the field right now.
Dan Reeves appears to, he's down there inside the 35-yard line. 4th down. Hey, what the heck do they have to lose? Now they're going to call timeout and discuss it.
So the Giants will call timeout, make a decision on the 4th and 5 coming up. No score early first quarter at Giant Stadium.
Honda, vehicles designed to help simplify your life. By EA Sports, makers of Madden NFL 97. If it's in the game, it's in the game. And by Sears Auto Center.
At Giant Stadium, head coach Dan Reeves gambling early. A 4th and 5, passing up a 48-yard field goal attempt. The offense stays on the field. Tyrone Wheatley, the lone setback, 4 wide receivers. That's Lawrence Dawsey in motion. They go to Wheatley. Has blocker ahead of him, but good pursuit by the Jets. And they stop him at the 30-yard line, well short of the first down. Gary Jones and Matt Brock in the area.
What it appeared they tried to do is they tried to make a formation outside with 3 wide receivers to the right of your screen. Then they come in motion, and they get the ball to Wheatley. And Wheatley comes out here. Watch the blocking come into the picture. You see the wide receivers blocked down? But look at the pursuit from the Jets from the middle of the field. Here's the 3 wide receivers. See them? Now watch the motion, and then watch these guys block down. But watch the pursuit from the safeties over the top. Great fill.
Jets have it. 1st and 10 at their own 29. Adrian Morrell with some room. Corey Widmer on the stop as Morrell gets up to about the 33-yard line. And let's take a look at the Jet offense, led by 30-year-old Neil O'Donnell. Says he didn't come here to go 0-3 off the bat, but that's his predicament right now. 5 interceptions already this season. Offensive line problems through the first 3 games, but they're finally getting healthy. Adrian Morrell, so important to this team's success. Graham and Keyshawn Johnson, excellent wide receivers, and Kyle Brady trying to find his way. 2nd down and 5 after Morrell's pickup. And Morrell also getting the call once again. Cuts inside. Close to a first down. A little bit short. Chad Bratsky on the stop. Giants starting defense. The front line. Michael Strahan the most consistent there, along with Harris, Hamilton, and Bratsky. Linebackers have taken their share of criticism. Nobody works harder than Corey Widmer. And the secondary aggressive, led by Philippi Sparks. Jason Sehorn had his first interception last week. Pamela Newton are the safeties. 3rd down and 1. Both teams obviously sticking to the ground early on. Johnson in motion. Straight up the middle. And a first down as Campbell thrust him back, but the momentum able to get the first down for the Jets, and they'll move the chains as Adrian Morrell, the workhorse early, as was Hampton for the Giants.
Well, the Jets, they want to stick to the run too. I mean, that's something they haven't been able to do because their offensive line hasn't played together. Watch Dave Williams, the guy they brought in from free agency from down in Houston. He gets a good block there. O'Dwyer's over there, and Morrell's just able to pick up the first down. First 3 plays, runs.
Well, the Jets now at their own 40. Adrian Morrell again. Some blockers ahead of him. Good pursuit from behind. And he's taken down by Jesse Campbell, who leads the team in tackles.
We're talking to middle linebacker Corey Widmer for the Giants. I mean, he said, hey, one of the things the Jets like to do is attack the boundaries. And here's a good example of it right here. I mean, the tackles, they think they can trap everybody inside, get the Giants bunched up, and get outside. But Widmer is there to make the play because he was watching film. He was in there doing the extra work. Corey's a guy, the coaches say, do whatever it takes.
First year as a first-time starter for Widmer. He says the mental load is a lot different. 2nd and 7. O'Donnell under pressure, completes to Richie Anderson, and Anderson has the first down. Whitmer brings him down, but the Jets in Giant territory off the 9-yard pickup.
Well, that's what Ron Earhart, the offense coordinator, that's what he wants out of this offense. I mean, he told us, he said, if I can run the ball 35 times and pass the ball 25 times in a game, that's essential. But they haven't been able to get the running game going. They haven't been able to run the ball 35 times in the course of the game. But when you run the ball, see what happens the first 4 times they ran the ball? It opened up the play-action pass.
Earhart, 10 years an assistant with the New York Giants, including 2 Super Bowls. Morrell on the ground again, has a huge hole, and finally taken down. Jason Sehorn makes the stop, but not before another first down on a 13-yard pickup. Right now, McDonald's game break. Let's go to James Brown in the Fox Television Center.
Mike and Bill, Steve Berline directs Carolina on a 9-play, 80-yard drive, capped by this 19-yard strike to Wesley Walls. The Panthers on top of the 49ers early, 7-0 in Charlotte. Back to the Meadowlands, Mike Breen and Bill Maas.
Thank you, James. And that's one of the reasons why New York football fans upset. They see an expansion team like Carolina playing so well, yet their team's winless so far this season. On first down again, Adrian Morrell up the middle, not a lot of room. Corey Miller brings him down after a couple of yard pickup. Miller, the veteran, on the stop.
Richie Kotite, he told us also, he said, we got to run the ball. We have to be consistent. I haven't been able to do some of the things we can do offensively because we haven't been able to run the ball. Now, they spent all this money in free agency. They got Jumbo Elliott at 1 tackle, and they got Dave Williams, the other tackle from Houston. And they brought these guys in and they say, hey, we want to see production out of that unit. So today we're seeing some production. They're pounding.
Kotite says he's disappointed with the start, but not discouraged. Anderson getting the call to about the 30-yard line before he stopped. And a little extracurricular activity. This is something that the Giants and Jets have had, although this appears to be a little more on the friendly side with Johnson and Sparks. But they've had, speaking of Sparks fly against each other in some of their preseason games in recent years. They play each other every year in the preseason.
Yeah, because it's a battle of New York. It's a battle of supremacy. It's the bragging rights. But all that stuff's thrown out the window in this game because both these teams, they don't care who they're playing. They're 0-3 and they need a win.
3rd down and 5. O'Donnell goes into the shotgun. Has time, complete. Wayne Corbett, but he's quickly brought down. Conrad Hamilton, a very impressive rookie for the Giants, makes the stop, and 4th down coming up for the Jets.
Boy, that was a nice break on the ball by Conrad Hamilton. And he's a guy they drafted this year. He was a 7th-round pick, and he's really been a surprise. And they said he was, of all the rookies in camp, he was the biggest surprise. He's the one that's done the most. And sometimes you just get lucky when you get a 7th-round draft choice like Conrad Hamilton now that can come up and be interjective right away and make plays.
A Division II player for Hamilton in college. Lowry on for a 46-yarder. He's only attempted 1 so far this season. And this one is good. So Nick Lowry gets the Jets on the board first. 46-yard field goal here in the first quarter. Jets on top.
You see that? That's what he wants to try to get done. And today they're sticking with it. And it was the run that got him down the field and able to score some points.
Nick Lowry again to kick it off. Little miscommunication. Amani Toomer comes away at his own 1. Him and Wheatley crossing up a little bit. And Toomer dives up to about the 25-yard line. So Dave Brown and the Giant offense will come on again. Jets lead their first points in the first quarter in their last 7 games. Enjoying it, Brown, all game. Brown finally confronts him, and the 2 went at it a little bit before Brian Williams stepped in. Giant offensive line took some heat for not stepping in quick enough, but Brown said he had no problem with their support of him in that particular play.
Hey, if I was in that situation, I'd like to see my quarterback fighting.
Giants have it. 1st and 10. Rodney Hampton cuts inside and cut down after about a 4-yard pickup. Gary Jones on the tackle.
You know, I was saying that I'd like to see my quarterback fight. I mean, you're 0-3. He's there. He signed the contract. He stayed. you know, a lot of the success of the team of winning is on his shoulders, and he's frustrated. He told us, he said, I don't like this stuff. And the worst thing is, like, I go home and watch highlights on other stations and watch all these great things happening to players. How come they're not happening to us? And you saw some of the frustration.
2nd and 5. Brown fires complete to Callaway. He's got a lot of room ahead. And Callaway taken down at the 49. Ray Mickens on the stop. A 19-yard pickup. Callaway, the receiver, he is most confident in.
Well, because he works the hardest out of this bunch. I mean, you look at the bunch of receivers they have. I mean, Callaway, he jumps out at you on film because he never stops working, whether it be blocking or catching passes. He told us he wants to be involved. And Brown has a lot of confidence in him.
Callaway, the team leader in receptions. That's his 8th of the year. Hampton on the pitch. Cuts inside, gets a nice block from Howard Cross. And Rodney Hampton taken down by Mo Lewis, but a 6-yard pickup.
And Callaway, I said he wants to get involved early, whether it be catching the ball and getting the first down or involved in the running game, blocking. Watch him come into the picture to the right of your screen on the down block. See? That springs the whole thing open. Number 80 came from the right side of your screen and just got the block. I mean, that's what it takes. And he came from Michigan. I mean, Bo Schembecker, Mike, he knows how to block. All they do up there is run.
Hampton with a fumble. Let's see who recovered. Some of the Jets signaling their ball. But apparently the Giants will hold on. Hampton, who does not fumble often, just never seemed to get a grip on the initial handoff.
That's what it appeared to be. And, you know, the rain started to fall again. It stopped for a period of time, but see him bobbling that wet ball? I mean, sometimes that exchange is difficult to take when you have a wet ball out there.
Hampton will come out, Tyrone Wheatley in. Giants for the 2nd time in 2 possessions in Jet territory. They've had excellent field position to start. And they've got a 3rd and 2. Hear the crowd again. This is a Jet home game. Jet season ticket holders mostly in attendance. Brown rolling out, tries to get away, and is taken down. Marvin Jones tackles him short of the first down. 4th down coming up for the Giants.
Well, that's tough. That's a tough break for the Giants. You know, twice now in the opening kickoff and then the kickoff after the field goal, they had field position. They're across the 50. They've had great field position. They just haven't been able to get anything accomplished. Now, what that actually is, that's a coverage sack because there's a great coverage downfield and there was nobody open.
That's been one of the problems for Brown and the Giant offense, is the receivers have had their difficulty getting open as Wayne Corbett is back for the punt. Mike Horan, who's already punted more times so far this year than anyone else in the NFL. A real directional kicker. And Conrad Hamilton at the 4 holds on. Horan now in 23 punts this year, 18 of them no return. He has been absolutely fabulous. 40-yard punt that time. Once again, 0 yards on the return. Jets will take over, leading 3-0. And Fran Tarkenton comes back, 2 TD passes. First one goes to Bob Tucker, and then Tarkenton to Clifton McNeil. And the Giants win the first meeting between the two, 22-10 in 1970. Corey Widmer, who's been a long-time Giant fan of all the great linebackers in Giant history, trying to become one of them. Well, the Giant defense has really struggled, last in the NFL. However, they had the Jets in some tough field position. Reggie Cobb tried to get outside and taken down after just about a 2-yard pickup. Chad Bratsky in on the tackle.
And one of the things the Jets are trying to do, you know, we talked about them running the ball outside, Mike. I mean, and then they come back and hit the middle. So they get you running and they get you to have your team speed defensively, stringing it out to the sidelines, and then they come back and they want to hit you right up the gut. I mean, that's what they're trying to keep them off balance, them being the Giants defense.
Saw Cobb there signed as a free agent with them this offseason. Last year played just 1 game with Jacksonville. They're hoping he can spell Adrian Morrell. 2nd and 9. O'Donnell will throw. Looks down, complete to Corbett. Corbett tries to get outside, and Jason Sehorn takes him down very close to a first down. Wayne Corbett, what a story he has been. Sehorn finally brings him.
I like this guy a lot. I mean, it's like a story of a walk-on at college. That's what he's like. He's great underneath. See him find his way through the zone, then sit down in the open spot. That's what he does. You send your other fast guys, Slaughter, Keyshawn Johnson, get them downfield, draw the coverage with you, and then he just works his way through the middle and finds open spots and sits down. That's what he does so good.
Leading them in receptions this year. When he first started as a rookie free agent, he was the 10th receiver. Used to be a novelty. Now he can pretty much play for anybody in the NFL. And he gets the first down on that play. As Cobb again the call, cuts inside. Percy Ellsworth takes him down at the 23 with a 9-yard pickup. As Reggie Cobb helping out.
Well, defensively for the Jets, I mean, they have to become physical up front. They have got to find a way with their 4-down linemen. When you play a 4-3 defense, the 4-down linemen have to be dominating. And they haven't had that out of these guys yet. Strahan, number 92, he's been the most consistent. But in this defense, all 4 of them have to make plays, and they haven't been getting it done yet.
Again, the handoff to Cobb. Penalty marker thrown. Cobb gets up to about the 28. But our first flag of the afternoon.
What happened, there was a blitz as Corey Widmer came running up the A-gap. And the center, Alexander, as Widmer tried to spin back in a spin move to come off the block, was grabbed and pulled down.
Holding. 70. Offense. Still second down.
Matt O'Dwyer on the hold. Johnny Greer, referee.
Watch Widmer. He's going to come right in here, and he's going to try to jump it on a blitz. He gets in there early. He walks up, and he's there before the snap. So they know it's coming. And then he just jumps into the A-gap. The A-gap's between the center and the guard. You see him try to spin off it and get pulled down. Well, so did the referee.
Penalties all part of the problem for the Giant offensive line, or the Jet that is, as they face 2nd and 11. Another handoff up to about the 17 as Cobb taken down. Cobb starting to get a lot of time. They like what Cobb can do. He's now in his 6th year out of Tennessee. Played, of course, with Tampa Bay his first 4 years. Had over 1,000 yards with 9 touchdowns back in '92. As Strahan involved once again.
Mike Cobb got cut last year, do you remember? And he came back, he got a chance to come to camp this year, and he really wanted it to mean something to him. And Richie Kotite told us he had the best camp of all the running backs.
A very quick first quarter at the Meadowlands as the rain has subsided a little bit. Not a lot of offense early as expected. Jets lead it 3-0 after 1.
That's per game 26 times. Now, you'd say the NFL average is 18. And you'd think, well, that's only 18 plays, but what that actually is 9 minutes longer. The Giants defense has to be on the field. That's a long time.
And the Jets now with 3rd down, 3rd and 7. O'Donnell gets the high snap, faces some pressure, fires, complete. Webster Slaughter, and a first down up to the 28-yard line, 10-yard pickup. Slaughter has been a terrific pickup.
Well, he's been around, and what? There he is at the bottom of your screen. He's going to come out and then out. See that on Jason Sehorn? I mean, that's a beautiful play. And what he is, he runs precise routes, and he's here. They brought him in for his veteran leadership. Remember, he used to be in Cleveland, and he went to Kansas City last year. This guy's a teacher, and he's helping these young guys at wide receiver learn what to do. That was a great route.
One of the many free agents they spent some big bucks. He signed back in July, and they've got a first down. Richie Anderson in motion. They stick to the ground as Cobb gets around. Michael Strahan in on the tackle. Let's get another McDonald's game break. Go back to James Brown in the television center.
Mike, turnovers have led to each team scoring in this contest here at Green Bay. After the fumble, Warren Moon hits Jake Reed. Seldom run corner route by an outside receiver. The Bradshaw insight, all tied. Back to Mike Breen and Bill Maas.
2 3-0 teams battling there. We've got 2 0-3 teams battling at the Meadowlands. O'Donnell to throw again. He's got Jeff Graham. Thomas Randolph right there. But another first down up to the 39. Graham, the former Bear.
Yeah, and the Bears are missing Jeff Graham. And there's another free agent transaction they got in the offseason. They brought him in. And he ran the out pattern, the same exact pattern that was run last time by Webster Slaughter. And it was the same exact defender, Thomas Randolph, number 23. Maybe he's just giving too much cushion out there on the outside receiver and giving him the stuff underneath.
O'Donnell 5 for 5. One of the reasons Graham came to the Jets, O'Donnell called him, recruited him, told him he wanted him here. Cobb gets a hold, and Cobb with about a 9-yard pickup. He's finally taken down. Percy Ellsworth on the tackle.
Well, when you spend that much money in free agency on tackles, you might as well run over them. And they like running over Dave Williams. Dave Williams, a guy from Houston, you remember. Watch the block by Williams. And that's what you want to do. You bring these tackles in, and the reason, see the down block, and then Dwyer gets on the linebacker, and that brings the whole thing open.
2nd and 1 after Cobb's 9-yard pickup. Cobb staying in the game, tries to get outside, and is taken down very close to the first down. Chad Bratsky wrapping him around. Bratsky getting up limping.
You know, the Jets, they got those 2 tackles, I said, in the offseason, because if you want to get a quality quarterback, which they tried to pursue in Neil O'Donnell, the first thing the guy's going to look at is, hey, who do I got blocking for me? So they went out and got 2 pretty darn good ones. You saw right there, Jumbo Elliott and Dave Williams. And then, of course, when Neil O'Donnell saw that, they landed him too. And then the whole chain reaction occurred.
Elliott, who played 8 years with the Giants, and Bransky, who used to go up to against in practice, limps off the field. Cedric Jones, their first-round pick, comes into the game. Again, up the middle, Richie Anderson quickly hit at the line of scrimmage. Michael Strahan with the strong defensive play. And the Jet fans not happy with the decision from Rich Kotite to punt. Well, that'll be the case as Brian Hansen will come on. Kotite has taken a lot of heat with the start. He says, though, that he has the proper tools to deal with it. Having coached in Philly, he calls Philadelphia the Harvard of adversity.
And he's right, Mike. If you've ever been there and seen those fans and the media around that, he's correct.
35-year-old Brian Hansen set to go. Monty Toomer is back. Long kick. Toomer's going to let it go. And it goes into the end zone. Touchback. 51-yard punt for Hansen. But the Giants will get it at the 20. Giants with the strong defensive play. Michael Strahan coming up big. Jets lead still 3-0.
For 7-Eleven. By U.S. Navy. Navy, let the journey begin. And by Nike.
Pictures from the MetLife blimp here in East Rutherford. The twin-engine blimp capable of going more than 57 miles per hour. Snoopy 1 on hand for the Giants and the Jets. Giants 1st and 10, their own 20. Rodney Hampton finds a hole and gets up maybe a 5-yard pickup. Victor Breen on the tackle, and a late flag comes in on the play. And the face mask against the Jets. Jets have had some real penalty problems in the first few weeks. 15 in one game as Green.
21, defense. Still first down.
Green's played well, just a little too aggressive right here.
That's not an automatic 5 with a 5-yard base hit.
Hampton and Charles Way again, the setbacks for the Giants. Brown looks complete. Howard Cross, the tight end, up to the 44. 14-yard pickup. Gary Jones on the stop. Cross has not been active yet in the offense so far this season. They need him.
Oh, you're exactly right. And boy, how good that is to get him involved in your offense. I mean, he's a guy they rarely throw the ball to. He's a pass blocking type of tight end. You're going to watch him run down the seam, and then when he gets there, he stops and comes back right up behind the linebackers. And that's what you need your tight ends to do. And to get him involved in the offense will open things up for the Giants.
Only his 3rd reception of the season. Hampton again gets the call, hit at the line of scrimmage, and doesn't go anywhere. Matt Brock and Mike Chelensky in on the tackle.
Matt Brock, number 94. I mean, he's out there with a hyperextended elbow. Watch him take on the double team, first of all, and break it up. He takes one knee, just like you're supposed to do, comes up, wraps up. I mean, that's textbook stuff. That's a perfect play by big Matt Brock.
Brock hurt the elbow in the game against Miami last week. He was questionable much of the week. And again, that fitted brace they have for him didn't arrive until late in the week.
Well, he said no matter what, I'm playing this week. I mean, this game means something to him.
Thomas Lewis in motion. 2nd and 8. Brown completes across. First down. Down to the Jet 43. Bobby Houston on the stop. 11-yard pickup as Howard Cross limping a bit.
And I'm impressed to see them, Mike, getting the tight end involved in their offense. And actually, they need him, because if you look at their offense and you look at what they have, it's Rodney Hampton. And outside, 80's a good receiver, Callaway, but then there's not much. It's a drop-off after that. And they really need the guys on the field to perform, and that's Howard Cross.
Hampton cuts inside and gets down to the 38. Ray Mickens on the tackle. Giants have had the ball 3 times. They've been in Jet territory all 3 times, yet still looking for their first points. Hampton, of course, signed to the offer sheet by San Francisco in this offseason. A big money offer, over $16.5 million. Giants matched it, and Rodney Hampton remains a Giant. You see his carries in the 90s, one of the busiest running backs in the NFL.
You know, he had 5 seasons in a row that he's had over 1,000 yards, and lately they've been trying to replace him, but they just can't get rid of the guy.
He's got 44 yards on 10 carries so far. On 2nd down, Hampton juggles but holds on and gets another first down. Aaron Glenn on the tackle. And the Giants now starting to move the chains a little bit, doing it with the pass.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's starting to look like what you expect the Giants offense to look like and what they've always looked like in the past. Run the ball, smash mouth, come out and hit some play action stuff. You get to the back of the flat, they got the tight end.
You know, both teams, part of their offensive woes, certainly with the offensive line, it's usually the last aspect talked about, but Giant offensive line, a lot of new faces. They're very young, raw. They've really struggled, but they have high hopes for them. It's another first down as the rain starting to come down again. Hampton follows his blockers well and powers down to the 28-yard line. 6-yard pickup. Let's get another game break with James Brown.
Mike, Steve Berline on fire. 12 of 13, 167 yards, 2 touches, both of them to this guy standing in the end zone. Wesley Walls, no fear Panthers on top of the 49ers. 17-0. Back to Mike Breen and Bill Maas.
Boy, they are loving it, Carolina. Believe it or not, New York fans, I think in some sadistic way, enjoy the rain. Hampton the call. Tackle from behind. Mo Lewis comes up big, fumble the football, and the Giants have recovered. Obviously very slick in just the past couple of minutes. The rain starting to come down again. But Mo Lewis coming up with a big play.
Take a look to the right of your screen. Rodney Hampton's going to get the ball. They're going to pound it, but then he's going to cough it up here as he got through traffic, giving it the second effort. Matt Brock again on the wrap-up. And that's what Hampton is, though. He's a second effort guy. He's trying to keep his feet moving. You know, he stopped at the line of scrimmage, and he's trying to pick up a few extra yards. He's lucky to keep that ball. 9th play of the drive for the Giants. 3rd and 1. Hampton has the first down and more as he gets down to the 19-yard line. Victor Green on the tackle, 6-yard pickup. And you saw the pumping of the fist by some of the Giant offensive linemen. Well, I'll tell you what you need to take a look at is number 30. Watch the fullback. Way. See the lead block? He just gets up underneath, and that's the leverage you need out of the fullback. He pries that thing open. That's what got him the first down. Nice block, Charles Way. Dan Reeves believes that Way's blocking ability, he's also a good receiver, he could become of the Darryl Johnston caliber only in his 2nd year. Giants get the first down. Tyrone Wheatley trying to get some extra yards. Gang tackled Marvin Jones, the initial hit. After pushing around the pile. There is a sense of desperation on both these teams. With good reason. Because of the 0-3 start, you do not want to be 0-4 on Monday morning in New York. What exactly transpires, Mike, in New York when you're 0-4? Well, it has been, and I've lived in New York all my life, it has been the hype on this game as negative as I've ever seen, especially this early in the season. As the Giants now with the 10th play of the drive, and it could only get worse for the loser, certainly. Brown looks downfield, fires, Callaway's got it.
Callaway runs in, and they say touchdown. Giants get on the board. Brown to Callaway, 17-yard scoring strike. And that's exactly what Dave Brown and Dan Reeves needed for the struggling Giant offense. Brad Deloiso on for the extra point. Callaway, a very steady receiver. Not speedy, nothing flashy, but he gets open. And Deloiso kicks it. 80-yard drive, 11 plays, over 6.5 minutes in the drive for the Giants. And Dave Brown most confident in number 80, Chris Callaway.
Well, Chris Callaway.
Giants lead at 7-3. Gets the Giants on the board, and the ball is touched as Deloiso kicks off. Van Dyke just rolls it in, and Ronald Moore will down it, and the Jets will take over. Today's Aflac trivia question: there are 39 players who have played for both the Jets and the Giants. 3 of them are playing today. Answer coming up when we return. Really, the question is who? Jumbo Elliott, of course, played for the Giants, now with the Jets. Coleman Rudolph and Adam Shriver. Thomas Randolph has been a Giant since his career began. And there's Shriver. Jets have it. 1st and 10. At their own 20, O'Donnell out of the backfield to Morrell. Jason Sehorn right up there for the tackle. And a loss on the play. Sehorn, the converted safety. Kind of a learning process, at his first career interception last week against the Redskins.
Well, back to that touchdown play. Watch in motion. Callaway's going to be in motion right here. It came from this direction. He's going to come out and get underneath. Well, watch the pulley lineman. See him pull? That throws off some of the defense. And then there's Callaway right in the open.
Callaway told us yesterday the key for him is getting involved in the game early. I would say that's getting involved. 2nd and 14. O'Donnell looking downfield, intended for Webster Slaughter, but he had nowhere to go. Excellent coverage that time for the Giants as O'Donnell took a hit. Philippi Sparks with good coverage.
O'Donnell, you know, he's been taking a lot of shots, a lot of hits, late hits after he throws the ball. And if he looks a little big to you, well, this is the reason why. He wears these extra pads that come all around his sides. His rib protects him. And they actually, on him, it looks like they come all the way down to his navel. I mean, he wears everything he can possibly wear to be protected. He did in Pittsburgh as well.
He accused our producer, Michael Burks, of calling him a fat slob when he brought it up. O'Donnell under pressure. Strahan chases him out, fires across, and Corbett has got it. Jesse Armstead throws him out of bounds, but a terrific play from Neil O'Donnell in what looked to be some problems. And it's very close to a 1st down.
Well, they're in a shotgun offense, and that's been talked about a lot this week, of them going into a shotgun. Watch Corbett, though. He's going to come into the picture to the left of your screen. I mean, he's the guy that he's going to make things happen. Do you know who he reminds me of? And he reminds some people in this area. Phil McConkey. Remember Phil McConkey that played for the Giants? That's what Corbett is. But they say he's got more speed.
Well, Ron Earhart coached McConkey when Earhart was with the Giants. Excellent possession receiver, but tell you what, Corbett, he keeps going. Last year set a team record for receptions. This year leads in receptions as the Giants have to call a timeout. They lead at 7-3 here in the 2nd. Having their problems with Ohio State. Bill Maas's alma mater. Slightly. Neil O'Donnell on 1st down. Looking downfield a little bit. Throws intended for Keyshawn Johnson. Philippi Sparks on the coverage. This is not an easy place to throw the football, and O'Donnell admits that he's still getting used to it. The swirls here at Giant Stadium can be absolutely brutal. Sometimes the ball comes down like Dorothy's house in The Wizard of Oz. You just have no idea the way it's going to flip around in the air.
And you wouldn't think so either. You know, you think you're in New Jersey and you're here in the Meadowlands and the big cement walls around this building. You don't think that there'd be that draft, but this is terrible for receivers, quarterbacks, and kickers.
Although O'Donnell 7 of 9 to start. On the draw, Adrian Morrell trying to get outside. Whitmer misses a tackle, but Armstead does not. And he's thrown for a loss. Good pursuit by the Giant defense. Of course, both Giants and Jets looking for their first wins of the season. There's some teams out there that have not lost. And look at all the 3-0 games. There's Kansas City leading early. Good NFC Central matchup. Green Bay and Minnesota all tied up. And the Monday night game, the Colts and Dolphins should be a good one. Loss of 4 on that. 3rd and 14. That's where the Giant linebacker, they're not the biggest, but their speed helping out there. Both teams trying to establish the run as you see the numbers. O'Donnell the shotgun again. Fires across the middle. Intercepted. Armstead has it. And he tripped up and fumbles the ball. It appears the Jets may have recovered. Yes, they did. Armstead had a clear path and just was tripped up around his ankles, and Rich Kotite breathes a sigh of relief. Richie Anderson pouncing on the loose ball.
What happens is they're in their nickel package. And Armstead, right here, see him break on the ball? He's the nickel linebacker. When you bring in the 5 defensive backs, he's the 6th guy because he's such a great athlete and can cover so well.
Wayne Crabett is the man that really forced that by tripping up Armstead.
There he is right there. Watch the break. And that's just reading the quarterback, and that's what your nickel backer has to do. You get a lot of depth, and you look at the quarterback and then make your break on the ball.
Big play from Wayne Crabett. Jets call a timeout. By the way, that interception, the 6th, Bill, for O'Donnell. He had 7 all of last season.
You get the sense sometime that Neal, with all the free agent stuff and being signed to the big contract, that he's just forcing things sometimes. He wants to make things happen. You know, it's like he's taking the onus to get this thing going all on himself. And obviously, he didn't see Jesse out there, so but how could you not?
Richie Anderson, right place, right time, as the Jets holding on, and we'll get a first down off the change of possession. Coming up next, our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader continues. Dallas Cowboys take on the Buffalo Bills. Pivotal game for the defending Super Bowl champs. They try and bounce back from last week's loss. Don't miss all the action. Coming up next, right here on Fox, except in New York.
Well, that'll be a game. And they got Todd Collins getting the start up there with Jim Kelly out. They said 2 to 3 weeks.
Anderson does his job. Will sit out. There's Adrian Morrell now, the lone setback. Jets get it back, just under 2.5 to play in the first half. Giants lead it 7 to 3. O'Donnell out of the backfield to Morrell. Phillippe Sparks right there, and he runs him out of bounds. Dan Reeves talked about Sparks. Not only is he a terrific coverage guy, but he's an excellent tackler and helps out on the run and getting up on the line of scrimmage.
If you want an all-around corner, that's Phillippe Sparks, and some wide receivers say he's the best in the league. I mean, not only can he cover and is exceptionally well at that, but he also comes up and is force guy on the run. Dan Reeves says they've had to put him in situations, though, where we've just said, hey, you've got this guy man-to-man all day because we need safety help elsewhere.
And more whistles. We've got a timeout. 2-minute warning at Giant Stadium. Giants lead the Jets 7-3. 3 yards out, ties the game at 20 with 8 minutes left. The game goes into overtime, and Namath throwing the perfect strike to Emerson Boozer for the game winner. And the Jets 26-20 victory in overtime.
How about Joe Namath running there? Did you see those knees?
Those 3 yards like a long way.
That looked like it was 100 for him. Then he put his hand out and said, don't touch me.
Second down coming up. O'Donnell back to throw. Fires. And nice catch from Jeff Graham. And he has the first down.
This is a big play here. You see Jesse Armstead has the ball, and he got tripped up, and as he was carrying the ball and he was tripped up, it came down and hit his knee and then popped out. And then the recovery, and now the Giants are back out there again. They've been on the field too much this whole season.
O'Donnell on first down. Has the protection. Finds Morrell out of the backfield. Morrell cuts inside. Keith Hamilton has to come away and try and help slow him down. And we're going to have another timeout. Jets will call their second, so both teams with one remaining. .118 remaining in the first half. Dan Reeves' team getting on the board. A Brown to Callaway strike. Jets with the field goal. Coming up, the Dockers Khakis halftime. JB and Terry bring you all the scores and highlights from week 4 of the NFL. Don't miss Fox NFL Sunday's Choice Cuts featuring the best plays of the NFL from last week on the Dockers Khakis halftime. And of course, in that studio at halftime, Ronnie Lott is on hand. And Ronnie, pivotal in 1993 in the Giants-Jets matchup. Jets up 10-6, 4th and goal from the 11. Lott with the tip of Phil Simms' final pass, and it seals the victory for the New York Jets.
Ronnie Lott always making big plays like that everywhere he was.
It got boring after a while. He made so many good plays.
He's not boring anymore.
No, sir. 2nd and 3rd. O'Donnell under pressure. Gets out and finds Anderson. Anderson cut down right away. Philippi Sparks quickly on the tackle. And 3rd down coming up for the Jets. Again, the Jets still with one timeout remaining.
4 wide receivers on the field.
3rd and 1. O'Donnell downfield for Graham, and a little too far. Excellent coverage from Jason Sehorn. Tito Wooten also helping out. And 4th down, the Jets will punt with 49 seconds remaining. Again, the Giants have just one timeout remaining.
You know, the Jets tried to force the ball downfield a couple times there on 2 plays, and for the most part in the first half they've been running the ball. I mean, they haven't taken any shots deep yet.
O'Donnell sharp, and in terms of completing, mainly going for the short passes, as Brian Hansen is on. Amani Toomer. Toomer, of course, returned that punt for a touchdown in week 1 against Buffalo. Very dangerous. A rookie from Michigan. Hansen. The short kick gets a giant bounce and bumps into one of the Giants. Fight for the football, and it appears the Giants have recovered. They'll have 37 seconds. 32-yard punt, no return. Of course, while the football in New York's been tough, baseball has been hot. This week on Fox Saturday Baseball, Paul O'Neill and the Yankees battle move on to the Boston Red Sox, plus other key pennant race matchups. All begins 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central. Check your local listings. Well, it might be 0-3 for the Jets, 0-3 for the Giants, but Yankees' magic number is 5. There's hope somewhere.
In New York?
Absolutely. You have to really look hard for the positive.
This is your town. I mean, this isn't a positive. They have 37 seconds left, and the Giants take a knee. You think they'd take a shot down there somewhere.
Well, the full board's out. Dan Reeves decides, no, sir. Rich Kotite will run off the field trailing 7-3.
I mean, the clock's still running down. There's 20 seconds going. Well, maybe there's a trick play involved here, Mike.
I'd like to see it. So again, the offenses continue to struggle as time winds down to end the first half. And this is a Jet home game, but they'll boo anybody. And that'll end the first half with the score of the Giants 7 and the Jets 3. Jay came up big. So we're underway in the second half. Brad Deluiso kicks off. Alex Van Pelt will bring it out. Van Pelt quickly brought down Percy Ellsworth on the tackle at about the 17-yard line. And that's where the Jets will take over. Take a look at some of the numbers for the first half. Pretty even overall, certainly. And the turnovers, again, that one turnover, that O'Donnell interception could have been disastrous, but Armstead then fumbling it. So a pretty even first half.
Even numbers, but the Jets' time possession is about 3 minutes more. And again, that shows you that the Giant defense has been out there too long. That's been a big concern of theirs. I mean, their defense isn't talented enough to have to be out on the field that many plays.
Both quarterbacks pretty sharp with their passes, but they're sticking with the short game as the Jets stay on the ground to start off.
I'll tell you, Strahan has been very active today. I mean, he's been consistent for him all year and come up with some great plays. He can rush the passer, but he's been in the mix of everything today. I mean, he's coming down the line of scrimmage, making tackles. He's putting pressure on the quarterback. There's a guy that, you know, he's not letting this 0-3 thing affect him. I mean, it's still too early.
Stops Reggie Cobb after that 2-yard pickup. Strahan now in his 4th year. Anderson in motion. O'Donnell facing pressure, gets it off to Cobb. Cobb cuts inside and gets up to the 26. So Neil O'Donnell took a shot from Jason Sehorn, who was blitzing from the right side.
Yeah, boy, you know, and his back is to him the whole time, and he's glad he has those rib pads on now. Watch Sehorn right here. This is a corner blitz. He's coming free. See him cheating in a little bit? And O'Donnell never sees him, nor does the back to pick him up. Puts a nice hit on him. And, you know, that's only, you only picked up 2 yards out there when you throw it out there to the flat.
3rd down and 2. Either running or receiving 495 times without fumbling. Had a couple last year, and then 2 here this afternoon.
Well, and then with the Armstrong fumble down there too, it makes you wonder, and the tight end dropping the ball out here, makes you wonder if this ball isn't, or these aren't wet from all the rain.
It has been raining throughout, heavy at times, more of a kind of a mist right now. O'Donnell looks, fires, intended for Keyshawn Johnson, but he cannot hold on. Sparks right there. Philippi Sparks has done an excellent job on Johnson, who was still looking for his first reception of the afternoon. Sparks said he was looking forward to the matchup.
You know, they haven't been able to get Keyshawn Johnson in the game plan much. And he moved into the starting position in front of Corbett, but Corbett has been the one that has been effective today in the passing game for the Jets.
2nd and 10. Jet ball at the Giant 43. Here comes the pressure on O'Donnell. Complete. Webster Slaughter very close to a 1st down. Right now, McDonald's game break. Vikings and the Packers going at it. Let's go back to James Brown.
And Mike, the Packers continue to hurt themselves off of a 3rd turnover. Warren Moon capitalizes. Andre Ismail, 20-yard TD pass. And the Vikings are on top of Green Bay, 14-7, late in the 2nd. Back to the Meadowlands. Mike Breen, Bill Maas.
Who would have thunk it? Minnesota.
Well, I'll tell you, Green Bay has really had their problems since Mike Holmgren got up there. They haven't been able to win down there in Minneapolis.
2 tight ends in on a 3rd and 1. Baxter goes in motion. They go straight up. Easy 1st down. Adrian Morrell. And the Jets will move the chains. As we said, the offenses at times, Bill, have moved the football. When it comes down for a big 3rd down play, that's when they stall a little bit.
Well, when they need a big 3rd down play, they're going over Jumbo. Watch the block on Bradsky. He just picks him up and turns him out of the hole. And finishes as a whistle go. I mean, when they wanted to get Jumbo, that's what they wanted to get him for. They wanted that big body they could lean on people.
8 years with the Giants. He said this is just another game for him. Michael Strahan, his former teammate, said he's lying.
He is.
So a 1st down. Adrian Morrell cuts around, breaks a couple of tackles, and is taken down at the 23. Some sloppy tackling that time by the Giants as Morrell picks up 5 yards. Tito Wooten finally brings him down. So Jets slowly moving the ball on this possession here. Still early 3rd. Mike Nolan, the defensive coordinator for the Giants, says he's still looking for a leader on his defense.
Yeah, that's important. And when he said that, it surprised me, but it didn't surprise me. It surprised me because every team has a leader, but it didn't surprise me because they're 0-3.
2nd and 5. O'Donnell, he's got Graham, and Graham tried to tiptoe. Sehorn just enough contact to bump him out of bounds, but another 1st down, 12-yard pickup.
O'Donnell's been having a lot of success over here on the left side. They've hit Graham, they've hit Webster Slaughter, and it's all been the same pass route. It's been the out. They dig deep into the corner, and then they turn left and break out. And see the distance between Jason Sehorn and Graham? I mean, that's a substantial amount of difference, and they've been giving it to him all day, whether it's been Sehorn or Randolph over there.
Graham's 4th reception. He played with O'Donnell in Pittsburgh for several years back in the early 90s. Adrian Morrell quickly brought down after perhaps a couple of yards.
That's Strahan again. I mean, he's been all over the place for him. And there's my guy O'Dwyer mixing it up. O'Dwyer, I watched him on film, and you got to see it. I mean, after every play, O'Dwyer is in a brawl. I mean, he's pushing after the whistle. He's in somebody's face. He's 70. Watch it. See, he's got a hand there on Robert Harris, and he won't let go of him.
Second year out of Northwestern. O'Dwyer, I think, set a training camp record last year as a rookie for preseason brawls with his own teammates.
It must be the Irish in him.
O'Donnell with a pump. Strahan wraps him around, and Michael Strahan with the sack.
And Strahan, I tell you, he's given Dave Williams everything he has today. I mean, Dave Williams has his hands full. See him tie up, and then he comes underneath with a club and just fights his way through. I mean, whether it be by power rush, over the top swim, he's been swimming and been scooting down the line, making tackles. Whatever it's taken, Michael Strahan's been getting it done today.
Loss of 7. Strahan coming off his best year last season. Mike Nolan feels again that Strahan's the most consistent defensive lineman they have. 3rd and 15. And a timeout. Jets have to call their first here in the second half. Ron Earhart and the Jets trailing 7-3.
Sparks over there, the numbers he has. And Felipe, I told you, he's one of the best cover guys out there. A lot of wide receivers around the league think he is the best. So if you're going to attack somebody, it's going to be Sehorn's side. And he's been getting his hands full. You know, Sehorn was a guy, he was actually a safety. They moved up the corner because of his height. You know, in this division, NFC East, you got the Cowboys, Irving, and you got Westbrook with Washington. They needed a height out there.
3rd and 15. Shotgun for O'Donnell. Under pressure. Gets it off to Crabett. And Crabett taking down Conrad Hamilton on the tackle. Well short of the first down.
I told you I like this guy, Mike. I mean, he's a walk-on type. He's out of Hofstra College around here. Where the heck's Hofstra? Here he is right here. He stays in to block. Okay, he's looking for the blitz. He stays in. I mean, the guy does everything. Now he's picking up blitzes. And then he finally leaks out there at the end, and he settles down where the middle of the field is wide open.
Hofstra University is the site of the Jets year-round training camp. So Crabett certainly aware of the Jets and has become a real hero, local hero for the Jets. And such a productive player now. 29-yarder for Nick Lowry. And Lowry puts it through, but a penalty marker on the play. The Giants yelling for a hold. And that's what it's going to be.
Out on the wing.
Rich Kotite has not been happy with the penalties they have had throughout the season. It has really, really hurt them.
Holding, 84, offense. Will penalize the re-kick.
That's Baxter out there on the wing position. And a lot of times at the wing guy, he's out there, he'll have his arm, and he's taught to, you know, drag your arm, step out and drag your arm, because he usually has 2 rushers coming over him. But he had a hook. He had a hook around him.
So the 10 yards makes this a 39-yarder. Lowry made 1 today. This is only his 3rd attempt of the season. The all-time field goal accuracy kicker in NFL history at over 80%. Another flag thrown on the play. He puts it through.
That's Conrad Hamilton. Now, he was the guy that got held last time out on the wing. And this time he tries to get the jump to beat the rush. And he gets called offsides.
So the Jets will decline. And it's a 7-6 game. 2 field goals for Lowry, all the offense for Rich Kotite. And they were really hoping that this was the week that the offense got in gear. A strong second half last week against the Dolphins.
Offside.
They'll be satisfied with at least 3 points. Former Giant Jumbo Elliott pleased for his Jet success here in the 3rd.
From the looks of it, they've got to be physical defensively, and they've got to make that passing game work outside. I haven't seen anything deep, and you know they spent a lot of money getting these receivers, and they got good receivers. They just have trouble getting the ball to them.
So Kyle Clifton, who's now a special team hero for the Jets, now in his 13th year. He's 34 years old. So many years he led this team in tackles. Just a great player for the Jets for a long time. 1 year led the NFL in tackles. And now what does he do? He leads the special teams.
You know, some guys are takers and then some guys are givers. And Kyle Clifton's a giver. I mean, he came here to 13 years now. He used to play linebacker. Now he's giving more. He can't play linebacker at his starting role anymore. So he's giving all he can on special teams. And that really says something for him, because that's like a dinosaur out there. You don't see very many old veterans they keep around to play special teams. So you know what the organization must think about him.
One of the more highly respected Jets. One of the more highly respected New York athletes in the past 10 years. Nick Lowry will kick off. Tyrone Wheatley at the 15. Short kick from Lowry. Wheatley up to the 30 and all the way up to the 35-yard line. So Lowry, who's not normally the kickoff man, Don Silvestri is, but he was inactive. So the Giants getting some good field position. Rich Kotite, part of the Giants, Jets, and all the coaches. The great Weave Eubank matched wits with Alex Webster. Then Bill Ornsbarger and Charlie Winter back at 74 in that Jet overtime win. Walt Michaels, who led them to the playoffs that year, and Ray Perkins. Of course, Bill Parcells won the 2 Super Bowls, and Joe Walton. Dan Reeves matched wits with Bruce Coslett back in '93. And now it's Reeves and Kotite. 1st and 10 for the Giants. Hampton had a hole, but it was quickly clogged up, and maybe a yard pickup. Marvin Jones among those in on the stop.
Quickly clogged up is right. Now it's Matt Brock again. I mean, you know, they know they're going to run the ball and they have to stop it. Take a look at Brock. Watch him just take Zateski and jack him up, and then when he wants to throw him and get rid of him, he does. And that's important when you're defensive lineman. See him jack him, then boom, gets rid of him. And then the big wrap up on Hampton. I mean, when your defensive linemen can play like that and use their hands that well, you're going to have good success.
Again, Brock playing with that painful elbow. 2nd and 9. Hampton on the draw. This time gets a little more yards. A penalty marker thrown. Hampton up to about the 42. Brock's pretty certain on who it's on.
Yeah, and when you can use your hands like that and you can throw the guy, then the next move is going to be they hold you. Because when you can beat a guy like that, like he's been beating Zacheski today.
59, offense. Still 2nd down.
Brian Williams.
That was Williams, the center. They were in and under. Oh, that was Zacheski. I was right the first time. He pulls Brock down. But that's what happens when you don't have any other resort to getting rid of, to blocking somebody, and you're getting thrown around, and a guy's coming off blocks and making plays. You're going to get dragged down every now and again.
Well, Brock made sure the officials were aware, but the flag was already thrown. Brian Williams, the veteran, the anchor of this offensive line, a very young offensive line. 2nd and 19. Lawrence Dawsey has come in. 4 wide receivers for the Giants. Brown scrambles away. And he's going to jump down to about the 30. Marvin Jones greets him there. And Giants once again with a 3rd and long coming up.
Well, Brown sets up the pass, and the pocket closes down around him, and then he just takes off running up the middle. And see, he's got to take the safety slide there because Marvin Jones is looking to rip it off. And really, you know why? It's because Marvin Jones' name hasn't been called. I mean, he's supposed to be the key to this offense, and for a middle linebacker in a smash-mouth run offense, you'd think his name would be called more.
3rd and 15, Tyrone Wheatley, the 3rd down back in there. Brown rolls out, under pressure, gets away, and fires it out of bounds. Smart move from Brown not to take the sack, but still 4th down coming up for the Giants. Brown a little shaken up.
Watch the coverage deep. You have 2 deep, and these guys are playing off a little bit, but when they come into their zone, they're going to man up on them. And when they man up on them, take a look. Then Dave Brown back here has nobody. He has time to throw initially, but he has nobody open. And he does the right thing by throwing it down.
Mike Horan, short kick. And run down and taken there at about the 27-yard line. Maurice Douglas able to get it. And Jets will take over 1st and 10, their own 28, 41-yard punt.
Here's one of the reasons. He he's a tough. I'm telling you, you want to talk about toughness. I mean, he just reeks of toughness. He should be thrown in there with Howie's team, the tough team. He overlooked him.
1st and 10 for the Jets. O'Donnell on 1st down fires. Keyshawn Johnson, the intended receiver, as Robert Harris put on some pressure on O'Donnell. Philippi Sparks again with good coverage.
That's what I'm talking about, Mike. I'm talking about the wide receivers and Neal. For some reason, they're just not in sync. The only person I see him in sync with has been Corbett. A little bit of flashes sometimes of Slaughter. I mean, he's just not there. And it's not there to the right side of the field either. And first down, you come out and throw the ball in a game that the defense is expecting you to run. You have a little bit of cushion there. Something should happen.
2nd and 10. There's O'Donnell's numbers. Has plenty of time. And Keyshawn Johnson, his first reception of the day. It's good for a 1st down as Jason Sehorn throws him out of bounds. 14-yard pickup.
And where did they go? They had to wait till Keyshawn, who's in the slot receiver right here, comes down and out to the sideline on the left side. And who's he up against? Sehorn, the guy that they've been trying to pick on.
Johnson's such a big target. Sehorn hanging right behind him there. But O'Donnell loves the size of Keyshawn Johnson.
Both those guys were together at USC for a semester.
Quick dump off Morrell, and Sehorn doesn't let him get anywhere that time to bring him down. Jason Sehorn in his 3rd year out of USC. Definitely a California guy.
A little laid back. We were talking to Mike Nolan yesterday, and Mike said, you know, he's the type of guy, I mean, he's just so nice. And everything's just que sera, whatever go. And he said, hey, you know you're supposed to do that. He goes, is that right? I didn't know that.
He's one of those guys out there say, hey, this is fun. 2nd down and 8. O'Donnell flushed out by Bransky, trying to run around and slides to about the 47-yard line. Again, Chad Bransky with good pressure to flush him out of the pocket.
And the coverage was there downfield.
And 3rd and long coming up for the Jets. He has been busy.
Yeah, he has. I mean, everything is carefree to him, but, you know, he has to have the sense now in this game that, hey, I'm a target here.
He won the job. Thomas Randolph, last year's starter, was injured in preseason. Sehorn won it, but he played well enough that when Randolph got healthy, Sehorn held on to the starting job. 3rd and 8. O'Donnell dumps off Richie Anderson, and they bring him down as Randolph right there on the stop. Sehorn missed him initially, but Randolph brings him down in 4th down. Crowd not happy with that play call.
Well, that time, Watts, they only rushed 3 guys offensively, defensively, so there's good protection there. But secondary-wise back here, these guys are all manned up. There's not a receiver open. Everybody is just covered. Neal can't find a soul. Look at everywhere. So I should dump it out and then watch the white jerseys close in underneath. Good defense, Giants.
Ryan Hansen on once again. Amani Toomer is back. Hansen gets off a nice kick this time. Toomer backs up to the 11. Tries to get outside. Still has a little room and tackled at about the 23-yard line. Sheridan May and Kyle Clifton in the area. 43-yard punt, 11-yard return. So the Giants will take over. 7-6 they lead. The veteran Clifton right there again. Plenty of clouds. 7-6, a little over 2 minutes remaining. 3rd quarter at the Meadowlands. Giants have it at their own 23, 1st and 10. Hampton. And gets across the 25 to about the 26-yard line. Cloudy day, still a beautiful view as you see the Giants with the 2 fumbles. O'Donnell the 1 interception. Dave Brown 6 of 8, 83 yards and a touchdown. Bill Maas came in a little bit early this week. Did you enjoy your experience in New York?
Big Apple. Sure, I enjoyed it. You know, as a player, you get locked up in a hotel room the night before the game, and you bang your head against the wall. And now I can come into a town and enjoy it. Great city. Tolls are too expensive, though.
2nd and 7. On a play fake, Brown pumps, now throws to Hampton. And Hampton quickly taken down by Marvin Jones at about the 27. Tell you what, though, your toll experience is probably a little bit nicer than Dave Brown's.
Well, Dave said he goes to the toll booth now, and he looks at him, and he gives him quarters like this. He turns the other way to give the guy quarters because he takes so much rat from everybody. It's just what's going on here in the city.
That's when you're 0-3.
And quarters, no, it's not quarters. Quarters are the extra quarters after you pay them the $3.
You're 3-0, they let you go through for free. 3rd and 5. The Jet fans urging on their defense. Brown under pressure, fires incomplete, intended for Thomas Lewis. And Brown kind of threw it away. Aaron Glenn with good coverage.
Well, you know, the play was there. It was a poorly thrown ball by Dave Brown, and he knows it.
That's where his problems have been, accuracy. It's something that he's working on. He's a little frustrated by, but he is not very accurate this year.
You know, that's a tough thing to do, too, because usually when you're at this level, you're finding out ways to beat defenses with different kinds of things. And when you have your quarterback and you have to worry about the basic things like accuracy, it's going to put you behind.
Wayne Probet at the 17, fumbles the ball, picked up by Maurice Douglas. And the Giants have it. Huge turnover. The Jets have struggled on their punt returns. Not like that, though, as Probet can't hold on, and the veteran Maurice Douglas picks up the football.
And the Jets special teams have really given them field position all day long. You know, you had trouble holding on to the ball, but a lot of receivers have today too as well. Maybe it's because it's damp, but still, it's not a torrential downpour. That's a very catchable ball. But the Giants special teams have really done a lot on the returns. They've given them field position from the opening kickoff, and now the big play here.
Douglas always has been a good special teams player. 54-yard punt, by the way, from Horan. Giants with a huge opportunity. Hampton just powers his way up for a few yards, down to about the 13-yard line.
Well, now they got to stay basic here. Okay, now the Giants offense has to regain their composure and say, okay, we've got a chance of punching in now. And they've got to, everybody has to do the right things, because what they have been doing is getting down there. One person has been messing up. And for Richie Kotite, he's shaking his head. He's saying, how, you know, it's a break like that we didn't need.
Hampton's numbers, both teams with 2 turnovers. On the fake. Again, nobody open. And Brown slides in, lost it out of bounds. Down to about the 12. Bobby Houston runs him down. And that will end quarter number 3. Wayne Probet's fumble gives the Giants some excellent field position. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages from your local Fox station. Needs to come up big right now. They have not done the job in the red zone so far this season.
A lot of problems in the red zone for them. And the last time they were down there, the Giants, they got the touchdown to Callaway.
3rd and 5. Giants have had opportunities. They've had fairly good field position a number of times. Brown fires for the end zone. Callaway incomplete, almost intended, and there's a flag thrown late. Ray Mickens, the rookie, on the coverage.
Well, that was definitely pass interference, but what Ray Mickens is arguing is that Callaway initiated the contact.
Now the officials will have a discussion. Mickens, the rookie, 3rd-round pick out of Texas A&M.
Take a look at Callaway.
24, defense, in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line.
See, did you see the contact first by Callaway? And that's what Mickens is so upset about.
And Kotite upset, although it looked like Mickens put his left hand in there before he tried to turn around for the play.
What happens here is 3rd down in the red zone. They need to make something happen, so they take Brock and they pull him out, and then they bring the backers. That's a zone blitz when he dropped the lineman. But right there is Callaway tried to come back over top in the inside because he saw the ball was thrown behind.
1st and goal at the 1. Hampton doesn't appear to be in. No signal from the officials. Gary Jones comes up to help in on the stop.
Let's take a look at that. See, there he is on Mickens. And then he draws man-to-man coverage in the zone blitz. Mickens is in great position on him. He uses the boundary to help him out. And then watch Callaway's hand right there. See that? He pushes him in there. I mean, I think Ray Mickens is in great position.
Although, again, that left hand, he looked like he may have put that left hand before Callaway made the move. Second and goal. Hampton stopped. Push back again. And the Jet defense coming up. Mo Lewis with a huge hit. And the Jet defense fired up.
Well, it all starts up front with the down linemen. See them get underneath the offensive line? Watch 54 jump in and what? Here's Mo. He's the free hitter. On goal line, you always have one linebacker who's the free hitter. Marvin Lewis steps up inside, takes on the lead blocker. Then your free hitter goes to the ball.
Lewis and Victor Green. And the Giants want to call timeout. Jim Vecchiarelli, the defensive coordinator, seeing red zone defense at its best. Mo Lewis coming up big. Giants with a 3rd and goal at the 1. They lead 7-6.
Working for you by Pizza Hut. You'll love the stuff we're made of. And by First Brands Corporation, makers of STP Complete Fuel System Cleaner.
Jets on a 2nd and goal from the 1 with a big stop. Now 3rd and goal. Giants lead 7-6 here in the 4th. Hampton on the pitch. And Hampton does not get in. Victor Green and Marvin Jones on the stop.
That's big-time defense, Mike. You want to take all that stuff about the red zone defense not being any good and throw it out the window? Have a goal line stand like that.
Loss of 2. Rodney Hampton having his problems down near the goal line. And Brad DeLuiso on for the field goal. 20-yard field goal for DeLuiso. And DeLuiso puts it through. And the Giants now with a 4-point lead. A spectacular goal line stand.
Unbelievable goal line stand. What this does is these guys, it charges up the whole team. First it starts up front, like I said. Giants try to get the ball outside. But watch the green shirts fly into the ball, sideline to sidelines. Victor Green leading the charge, and Marv Lewis there to clean it up. The O-line never has a chance from the get-go. They try to pull 2 guys out, but it's just not enough. The corner is held up, and they just can't turn the corner.
And again, the Giants unable to take advantage. Rich Kotite pumped up the way his defense has played. Staten Island and Brooklyn spent a lot of his younger years as a New Yorker. And he's fighting back despite all the adversity they've had. And Hampton unable to get in. Giants in great field position. The fumbled punt and had a chance, but Victor Green and the Jet defense comes up big.
Those 2 guys made the play, Green and Lewis. But watch 25 right there, Gary Jones, the safety. What he does to Baxter is he stuffs the whole thing up. Now, the tight end should have the block on that, but he doesn't. He doesn't get the block. Gary Jones makes that thing bounce flat to the sidelines.
The Jet defense fired up. So are you.
I am. I'm a defensive player. I mean, I'll tell you, that brings out emotion in you.
And it's got the crowd ready. Alex Van Dyke at his own 6. Van Dyke in the middle and brought down at about the 27-yard line. Coleman and Galen on the stop. Giants still in front, however. Next week, it's a Fox NFL. Morrell inside. Corey Widmer quickly brings him down at about the 30. A little over 2-yard pickup. But now let's see what the Jets, if they can take that emotion and channel it into a good drive.
Well, that's what usually happens. I mean, a big play like that can spark the whole team. And, you know, it's a belief thing. If they can believe they're good, they're going to be good.
Again, the Giants with the great field position, and they come away with Just 3 points. 2nd and 7. We're still early in the 4th. O'Donnell facing some pressure, fires. Keyshawn Johnson cannot hold on. Tito Wooten right there on the coverage. Time for another McDonald's game break. Let's go back to James Brown.
Mike, Steve Young hobbling with a groin pull. Makes no difference. Pocket breaks down. Guess what? Blown coverage in the secondary. Young airs it out 44 yards to Derek Lavelle. First TD pass of the year for Steve Young. They trailed 20-7. Later on Fox, that man, Troy Aikman, will lead the Cowboys into Buffalo against the Bills. Coming up later on Fox. Back to the Meadowlands. Mike Breen and Bill Maas.
No one showing respect to the 49ers and the Cowboys. 3rd and 7. O'Donnell downfield, incomplete. Trebet was in the area, threw it well over him. Van Dyke was also perhaps one of the receivers. Somebody got mixed up on that one. 4th down, the punting unit comes on, so at least right away, that goal line stand does not turn into any positive for Ron Earhart and the Jet offense.
And they've been struggling in the pass game. I mean, it seems to be that they've gotten some yardage on the ground in the run, which they wanted to do today. I mean, the run is going to set up the game for you and win it for you at the end. But it's the passing that isn't clicking for the Jets.
Hansen, good long punt. And Toomer's got to run back to get it. He's going to hope it goes into the end zone, and it will not. Let's see if he had possession. And it's going to be. And some extracurricular activity again. 69-yard punt for Brian Hansen. And they'll bring it back out. Giants will take over. 1st and goal. 1st and 10 at the 20. To the MetLife flip.
We could have used that thing to get around town. And you said it goes 57 miles an hour. That's the only thing in the city that goes 57 miles an hour.
Oh, it's not that bad. You out-of-towners always give us a bad rap in New York.
You see Ron Earhart's game plan. You see what he has to do? I mean, he's out of sync already. I mean, he's already forced to pass more than he wanted to. He wanted to run, but I mean, he's forced to pass, and the pass isn't working for him.
Well, the weather's taking a turn for the worse. Rain coming down heavy as Hampton gets the call. Gets across the 20 to about the 23. Marvin Jones again in on the stop. Giants lucky because it appeared that that punt may have been grabbed just in front of the goal line. But they'll begin at the 20. Yep. Jones now with 10 tackles.
Yeah, watch Marvin Jones. He's got 10 on the day. He sits back here behind this big defensive line. He lets them jam everything up. And then when a blocker comes into view, he takes him on, gets rid of him, and makes the tackle.
2nd and 8. Still plenty of time. Just under 11 and a half minutes remaining here on the 4th. Brown will throw. Hampton out of the backfield. Mickens brings him down. Hampton still shy of the 1st down. Gets up to about the 26-yard line.
And when it starts to pour and it starts to rain, I mean, who do you want to get the ball to? You want to get it to the big, reliable guy, Hampton. I mean, he's been there before. He knows what he has to do. He knows what he needs to do, no matter what the turf is like or the elements. I mean, this guy's going to get yards.
Hampton battling his buddy today, Mo Lewis, 2 former University of Georgia Bulldogs.
You see those yards in the 2nd half? I mean, that's the Jets playing some defense. 7 carries, 7 yards.
3rd and 3. Quick drop for Brown. Howard Cross had it and dropped it. And 4th down again. We'll bring out Mike Horan.
The tight end situation in New York is bad all the way around, Mike. I mean, Howard Cross, I mean, he's not a pass-catching tight end. He's a run blocker. I mean, they've brought in tight ends to come in. Derek Brown was in here. They wanted to get him the ball, and no one's been able to do it. And Kyle Brady for the Jets, they brought him in to compete with all the other tight ends in the AFC West, but these guys can't catch the ball.
Both offenses struggling once again as flags come flying all over. Joe DeCamillis, the special teams coach for the Giants.
Offense. Still 4th down.
So they'll move it back. Moran has been busy. You don't want your punter leading the NFL in punt attempts. Kenny Rose, the special teams coach for the Jets, former terrific special teams player himself. Good high kick from Horan. Corbett signals for the fair catch and makes sure he holds it that time. 47-yard punt, no return. Jets will take over at their own 31. They trail 10-6. Final manual, Giants 21-20, but Ken O'Brien brings them downfield. Al Toon with a TD catch. Jets win 27-21, and the Giants knocked out of the playoffs. That was a heartbreaking defeat in Giant land. Dave Brown wants to make sure no heartbreaking losses. Late fourth quarter this afternoon, his team leading, but still plenty of time. 1st and 10 for the Jets. O'Donnell has nowhere to throw, and it's deflected. Kyle Brady came out, but somebody got a hand on it. O'Donnell had 3 passes deflected last week. Looked like Michael Strahan once again.
Well, again, I mean, there's great coverage downfield. I mean, the rush had plenty of time. That's a good pocket. I mean, he's standing there. That's plenty of time to get it out. And he has no one to get it to, and then he tries to flip it out to Brady, and it hit the back of Williams' helmet.
Good pressure and good coverage in the secondary. O'Donnell incomplete on his last 4. 2nd and 10. Reggie Cobb tripped up, but holds his balance and still manages to get up to about the 37-38-yard line. 7-yard pickup as Jason Sehorn brings him down. Both teams looking for their first win of the season. Some other teams doing the same. Jim Moore's Saints losing at home in the 3rd quarter, and they'll play later down as Tony Dungy looking for his first win in Tampa. Rich Kotite wanting that first win. He admitted this is a must-win situation. 3rd and 3. O'Donnell complete. Baxter, but he lost it. And let's see what they call. Out of bounds. Don't see the call yet, whether or not it was a completion and a fumble. If it was, Baxter looked like he had enough for the first down. So they call it a completion. And let's see where they spot the ball now.
Well, completion is control and then 2 feet down. And you see he well has it then, and actually it's stripped out. Corey Miller, 57, just wraps his arms around it and knocks the ball out. Awful lucky that thing wasn't recovered.
And they get the first down as the ball bounced out of bounds just before Whitmer was able to grasp it. Cobb and Anderson the setbacks for the Jets. So 1st and 10 now at their own 41. O'Donnell for the sidelines. Keyshawn Johnson incomplete. He was out of bounds. Johnson has not been able to get it going so far this afternoon.
You know, again, I mean, they're trying to pass the ball. I mean, we saw 2 passes, and he's out of bounds. You see him step out. You have to have 2 in. The first one was in. The second one crossed his body and came out. But they're throwing the ball. I mean, the weather like this, they're throwing the ball. This is the kind of weather that you need your big back to pound yards out. Now they put themselves in a whole 2nd and 10.
Not a lot of weather like this when you play at USC. He's only got 1 reception. 2nd and 10. It continues to really come down hard. O'Donnell hit as he throws. Incomplete. Intended for Johnson. Neil O'Donnell really took a shot.
Well, you know, one of the things you want to do is when you have confidence in your receiver, watch Brady. He's the tight end. He's going to be wide open the whole time, but O'Donnell never sees him because O'Donnell doesn't have any confidence in him. I mean, he has some receivers. Everybody else is covered up. See him? But look at him. He's wide open across the field.
And he has been really banged up. They're concerned that he's taken a lot of hits. He was sacked 13 times coming into today. Strahan has a sack, but he's also been hit quite a bit. 3rd and 10. Strahan chasing, gets the pass off, incomplete. As Jesse Armstead wanted to get an interception on that. Giant defense coming up big in that sequence, and the Jets will punt.
Neil O'Donnell is locking into his targets. He has Webster Slaughter wide open, but he never sees him. And what he's looking for Corbett underneath. And Corbett was covered, and he never could get the ball to him.
He's been frustrated because he knows this offense works. It's basically the same that he and Earhart had last year in Pittsburgh, but it's been very inconsistent. Wobbly kick. Amani Toomer at the 22. Tries to get a little room and does. And Toomer up to the 39.
Again,
nice
Mike.
Return.
Yeah, again, the special teams of the Giants giving them great field position.
17-yard return from the rookie. 36-yard punt here in the fourth quarter. This week, Degree will be tracking this year's hot rookies. Jimmy Johnson has a couple of impressive ones, one on each side of the ball. Nothing hot at the Meadowlands today. A lot of rain. It's been raining pretty much throughout, heavy at times. And it's hampered the offenses here in the second half. Hampton quickly hit behind the line of scrimmage and knocked down.
Bobby Hamilton.
So Hamilton coming up with his first tackle.
Watch Bobby Hamilton up the top. He gets around the block and just flattens down the line. And he comes behind the lead blocker, the fullback, and he just comes flat. When you get depth and penetration as defensive lineman, as soon as you cross the line of scrimmage, flatten and get to the ball.
Hamilton, who played in the World League in '95, was on the practice squad initially, but because of the injuries to the defensive line, getting a chance. Brown on a play fake. Again, everybody covered. Brown trying to find somebody, and he's just going to slide up to about the 38. Matt Brock chasing him. And another 3rd and long coming up for the Giants. The offenses have really started to sputter.
We know Dave Brown, one of his receivers is Callaway. He wants Callaway, but watch Marvin Jones. He's not going to let him come across the middle. That's what you do to a receiver to disrupt their timing. You don't think the timing is disrupted on a pattern like that? That's what caused all the misconfusion, all the confusion back there with Dave Brown looking for a receiver.
Marvin Jones, when he's been healthy, he's lived up to all the billing when he came out of Florida State. 3rd and 11. Brown again. Now fires. He's got Lawrence Dawsey all the way down to the 41. First down for the Giants. Lonnie Young tracks him out. 22-yard pickup for Dawsey. The former Buccaneer.
What happens there, that was a crossing pattern. Lawrence Dawsey comes all the way across the field. And right at about the hash marks, he separates from Lonnie Young. Dave Brown saw the separation and saw him crossing and hit his receiver. And that was able to turn upfield and pick up 22 yards.
Hampton strong in the first half, but has been completely shut down in the second half, and it appears there's a penalty.
Unnecessary roughness on the defense. Late hit out of bounds. First down.
Boy, does that hurt.
That's going to tack on another 15.
Carl Greenwood, and there was no question Dawsey was out of bounds when he got hit. So the ball goes all the way down to the 26-yard line. But the Giants have not been able to take advantage, with the exception of that one first half TD. Hampton cuts inside. That time has a little bit of room. Gets down to the 21. Gary Jones stops him there, and a penalty marker thrown. Let's get another update from James Brown.
Hey, Mike, Bill was talking about separation speed. Take a look at Don Beebe. Underneath pass from Brett Favre. Spin move. Off to the races. Take a look. Boy, does he accelerate. 80 yards to pay dirt. Huffing and puffing when he makes it there. Green Bay struck again as George Cook has picked it up and went to the end zone. It's now 21-17. Back to Mike and Bill.
Another penalty against the Jets. And the ball taken down to the 11. A personal foul's killing Rich Kotite's club right now. So first down and 10. 2 straight personal fouls. That's what's moving the football for the Giants. Hampton quickly hit on the line of scrimmage. Marvin Jones again.
Marvin Jones.
Although Jones was the culprit in that last play.
Yeah, this is what the penalty was on the last time. See, he's getting pulled down. But David Williams is center, and he doesn't like it, so then he gets a shot in there afterwards. And that's what the flag was on. But then he comes right back. I mean, Marvin Jones now in the second half, I mean, he's really been responsible for shutting down Rodney Hampton. He's been all over the place making tackles.
Cannot underestimate what those kind of penalties can do to destroy your chance of winning. 2nd and 8. Especially because the defense has stopped the Giant offense, but the penalties is what's moving it. Hampton again, following Charles Way inside. And Hampton down to about the 3. Still shy of the first down. Gary Jones, who has been very active in on another tackle, along with Victor Green.
Watch the trap play. See the lineman block down, but there's 73. Zadetka leading the way. Then Charles Way is going to lead it even more up on Glenn, getting the lead block there, and it opens the whole thing up for Hampton. Gary Jones, the safety, you know, the safeties have been playing great today for the Jets. I mean, they've come up there and they've really made everything happen. Remember, he was the guy that held up that corner on the goal line stand.
3rd and 2. They can still get a first down. Way hit. Victor Green whacked him. And again, the Jet defense coming up big. Charles Way with a rare carry.
Marvin Jones again. I mean, you talk about a guy, you know, Richie Kotite said he's the key to our defense. Watch him come in and fill. He lowers the boom on Hampton. He takes his legs out from underneath him. If you're going to stop Rodney Hampton, that's exactly what you have to do. You got to get down around his legs. You can't tackle Hampton high.
Boy, they have come up big down near the goal line. So Brad Deloiso on 4th down coming on once again. This one a 20-yarder. Marvin Jones, that penalty, fortunately for him, does not come back to haunt him. He makes up for it. And Deloiso with another field goal. And that gives the Giants a 7-point lead. Still plenty of time. 4:35 remaining in the 4th. Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining. Well, the way they've been brutal. Media and the fans have absolutely ridiculed both teams. The Stupor Bowl, of course, that very sophisticated one, the Toilet Bowl. You've had Black Sunday, battle for New York gagging rights, battle for last rights. I mean, it's just been brutal on the players. And a lot of people said that would be the ideal scenario for these 2 teams. Perhaps fittingly, we've had horrible weather.
The Jets really need a drive. They haven't really sustained a drive yet, Mike. I mean, they've done some things. They've ran the ball okay. They've hit some short passes, but they haven't put together a total drive. They need to do that.
So Keith Elias, an excellent special teams player. Van Dyke cuts inside and manages to get up to about the 25, and a flag coming in once again. Johnny Greer's crew very active here in the 4th quarter. And again,
it goes in a hole.
Goes against the Jets.
It's going to put them in a big hole. Now, you know, you have to drive 90 yards.
Holding number 53 of the receiving team during the return. First down.
7th penalty of the afternoon.
Well, that's Cascadden. See him right here?
This has really hurt them. As we mentioned, 7th penalty. Now for the year, the Jets, listen to this. Jets have 34 penalties for the year, and they have 46 points for the year. Their penalties are almost as high as the points, and it has absolutely hurt them in key situations. O'Donnell, incomplete, intended for Morrell.
Accuracy, has that been the problem?
O'Donnell, normally an accurate quarterback, has not been here in the second half. And he's hearing some boos.
Yeah, he's missed his receivers a few times. I mean, I know it's raining out there, and there's been some drop balls and things, but, I mean, for a little pass like that out to the flat, you should be able to get that completed without these kind of problems.
Yeah, he talked about because the Jets play their home games here, but it's really Giant Stadium. They don't get to practice here, so he's not comfortable with Giant Stadium yet. He's missed 8 of his last 9. Again to the air, and looking long. O'Donnell downfield, incomplete. Boy, that was close. As Graham had a chance to haul it in. Percy Ellsworth and Thomas Randolph there on the coverage.
Yeah, that was nice coverage by Randolph. I mean, he was with them right on his hip all the way down the sidelines. And O'Donnell, I mean, he's trying to make something happen. That's great coverage, great position.
And Randolph wisely looks back to try and get it. He was right with him. Randolph, who lost his starting job in preseason because of an injury. 4 wide receivers on 3rd down. O'Donnell has to dump it off, complete, but quickly brought down at the 17. Now he dropped it. Well, they do say it down. It is a completion to Richie Anderson, but it's still 4th down and more punting coming up.
Well, here's what they're doing is they have 3 receivers here, a receiver here, and these guys come down the field. But then they bring this guy out underneath. They try to get him the ball, and that's Richie Anderson, the fullback. They flip him the ball, and his idea is to pick up yards. Stretch the field, take the defenders with you, but you see, it does not fool the Giants.
Hansen gets off the kick. Amani Toomer, fair catch at the 41. Kind of a half fair catch call there, but that's where the Giants will take over. Good field position for the Giants. Want to remind you, this game presented by the authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the expressed written consent of the New York Jets and the National Football League is prohibited. Tito Wooten shaken up a bit. Came in here 0-3, as we mentioned. They're getting just beaten up by the media and the fans. What's your view after seeing the Giants and the Jets?
Well, I'll tell you, it's well deserved because they have some ability. The Jets have ability and can't get it done. So that deserves criticism. And the Giants, I mean, they don't have the talent.
But they have the lead right now as Hampton trying to gain some yards. Quickly met at the line of scrimmage and gang tackled. Tito Wooten will be carted off. Looked like holding on to his right leg. And the Jets will call a timeout. So the Jets now with 1 timeout remaining with 3:22 left here in the 4th. Once again, coming up next, our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader continues when the Dallas Cowboys take on the Buffalo Bills. Pivotal game for the defending Super Bowl champs. Don't miss all the action coming up next right here on Fox, except here in New York. As Rich Kotite, as we said, he's normally not one that says this is a must game, but he came out and said that this week.
Well, you know, it's sure it's a must game. You know, like I said, you get all these free agents, and relatively all new. I think they have like 36 or 38 new guys on the team. And they brought them all in because they went 3-13 last year. So you go out and you tell your owner, hey, we need free agents. I need these players to succeed. Help me out. You go out in the market and get these guys and then start off 0-3. Looking at 0-4 right now.
And they need the football back. 2nd and 8. Giants stay on the ground with Hampton. And Hampton gets up across the 45. Jets will call their final timeout with 3:17 remaining. So the Jets out of timeouts. Of course, they still have the 2-minute warning. Giants have 2 timeouts remaining. And the rain continues to come down hard.
And you know, the thing about the Jets is look at the guys, look at the defense. I mean, they've done their job today. I mean, they really have. I mean, they had the goal line stands. Marvin Jones playing great, and Brock, you know, the whole thing. I mean, they gave up 78 yards rushing so far. That's doing your job when you have a game like this. And they didn't get any free agents. I mean, that wasn't the area of concern, and these guys are out there playing hard.
Now, both of these teams, again, their defenses have been horrible, 28th and 30th in the NFL. Is their defensive performance today more because of the offenses being inept or because the defense has come up big?
Well, yeah, well, the Jets have played good defense. You look at them. I mean, they have played inspired, good, strong defense. And the thing about it is, it's the running game. So Rodney Hampton, you know he can run the ball. So I say the Jets have played good defense. Now, if it was the passing game, I wouldn't have said that because I don't think the Giants receivers are that good.
3rd and 5. Dawsey goes in motion. Wheatley cuts inside, and he is short of the 1st down. Knocked back to about the 47. Victor Breen and Bobby Houston on the tackle. And the Giants will punt. Jets still with plenty of time, but they are out of timeouts.
And they did their job again. And they're not done. You see, they're not going to take any chances. They're going to leave the defense on out there, and it's going to be a punt safe. They don't want to, and they want to stay on sides here because 4th down, you have to watch the hard count and the long count.
Mike Horan, who's one of the better kickers in terms of directional style and inside the 20, back on. Corbett, who fumbled one earlier on a punt, back at his own 10. Nice high kick from Horan. Corbett lets it bounce, and the Giants pounce on it at about the 10-yard line. And Mike Horan, who's had an excellent season, comes through again as we have some more pushing and shoving. Punt goes only 38 yards, but certainly does the job for Horan. Once again, no return. Keith Elias helping out on special teams. So we've got just a little over 2 minutes. 13-6. Messy day at the Meadowlands.
Look at the rain coming down. This is the hardest it's come down. And what a bad time for the rain to come down this hard. I mean, Jets need a drive here. They've got to go 87 yards, and the rain starts pouring. Not a good sign for the Jets.
And they need a touchdown as they trail by 7. Once again, no timeouts for the Jets. O'Donnell in the shotgun. Flushed out again. And taken down Robert Harris with the sack back at the 8-yard line. And Rich Kotite very concerned. Second sack of the season for Harris.
Well, what it is, again, it's a coverage sack. I mean, the Giants are playing some great defense. They're mixing it up, man and zone.
And whistles again on this 2nd and 14 as the 2-minute warning. A lot of boos starting to filter down from the stands of the Meadowlands. Rain-soaked East Rutherford, New Jersey. Giants lead late in the 4th. Contest against the line stand that the defense came up with. Well, they'll also remember that the offense so far has not gotten it done. 2nd and 14. O'Donnell complete. Graham's got it, and he runs out of bounds up at the 18-yard line. Conrad Hamilton right there to make sure he gets out, but the clock stops with 1:55. 9-yard pickup. Ron Earhart, who's had so much success in bad weather when he was with the Giants 10 years as an assistant with the Giants. 3rd and 5. O'Donnell incomplete. And no flags. Wayne Corbett wanted a penalty, but wasn't called. Jesse Armstead right there on the coverage. And a 4th down coming up for the Jets.
I'll tell you, the Giants defense has really risen to the occasion also, Mike. I mean, they've shut down the wide receivers, the strength of the New York Jets. And one guy in particular has been doing a great job out there when they go to 4 and 5 sets is Conrad Hamilton, 41. He's the rookie 7th-round pick we talked about earlier. And he's doing a phenomenal job wherever they put him on the field in any type of coverage.
Jets need a 1st down. 4th and 5. O'Donnell sacked. Michael Strahan. And the Giants come up big, the defense. 2nd sack for Strahan.
I was just telling you about Conrad Hamilton, and that was another coverage sack. Watch Conrad Hamilton right here. Watch him on Wayne Corbett. Now, O'Donnell is looking for Corbett to get underneath, just to kick up the 1st down. See him looking at him, but he can't get him, and in comes Michael Strahan for the sack. Michael Strahan had a big day today. That's his 2nd sack. He has about 7 tackles. I mean, defensively, you know, when you come into a game like this and you know that they're going to try to run the ball at you first, and then O'Donnell, that you got to get pressure on him. I mean, for a defensive lineman, I mean, that's what you want. That's the type of day you want. Michael Strahan's been after him all day.
And it appears Rich Kotite will go 0-4, barring an inexcusable turnover. Giants to win their 1st of the season. And Jets out of timeouts. Coming up, Bills and the Cowboys. That game not seen in New York. Another NFC Central battle between the Bears and the Lions. And Neil O'Donnell never envisioned when he signed with the Jets that he'd be 0-4.
Yeah, you know, and before, this week he couldn't go out and cross the bridge and look at the guy in the face. You know, and you see he's growing that beard there. I mean, he better keep that thing growing and use it as a disguise.
So Dave Brown didn't throw a lot, but threw that one touchdown pass to Chris Callaway. And that was the only touchdown of the game.
You know, Mike, really, the special teams for the Giants won this game for him. I mean, it was from the opening kickoff and the field position they created and the punts by Horan and the whole deal. That's what's put that look on Rich Kotite's face. It's been the Giants' special teams. I mean, I think it was uncounted.
Joe DiCamillo's proud of his guys.
Yeah, you have the 3 field goals and the field position during the day. I mean, that's going to win a game for you, and I think it was overlooked. You know, you're so worried about a game like this and losing that you worry about your offense and your defense and the things you have to do, and sometimes the special teams can get overlooked.
Mike Horan with a super day, and that will do it. Those Jet fans who are still here are booing Rich Kotite and his team.
And I think that's why they stayed, so they could boo. I mean, you sit through the rain and all this to watch that. I mean, yeah, they want to stay. They want to get their fair say.
It was a rough week this past week for the Jets. It is going to be downright ugly as former Giant Jumbo Elliott and his former teammate Dave Brown, the 2 quarterbacks, know how tough it can be in New York, and it's going to get much tougher for the Jets this week.
Yeah, it is going to be tough. And the Jets, you know, there's a lot of unanswered questions there. And you kind of feel for the 2 teams when you talk to them during the week, Mike, because they're in the way they work. They have to go to work every day. These guys live together during the day. They want to turn this thing around.
So the Giants get their first victory of the season. The final score at the Meadowlands, Giants